Hey, everybody, and welcome back to my computer journey. Last time in the last video, I talked about the fact that I got a lesson in the fact that I don't charge enough, or I didn't charge enough. And it's because I was very new to this industry, and I was just really excited, honestly, that people were willing to pay me at all to do something that I thought was a hobby. But as I grew and I learned some things about running a business, I knew that charging, or I learned that charging is about the value you bring to the table. And another way that you can bring value to the table is by niching down. So I know when a lot of people start off freelancing, they want to be a generalist in the sense that if somebody is willing to pay me for my services, I will take them on as a client. And maybe you need to do that in the beginning, right? Because you don't really know what you're good at yet, or you don't really know what you like to do. And I'll have a whole other story about maybe why getting a real job, being employed by somebody first, might be a good choice. But when you're first starting out, you don't really know what you like to do or what you need to do. But as you work on more projects, the idea of niching down should become apparent to you, or at least you should heed the advice that somebody else gives you, right? It's not really something that became apparent to me until I heard other freelancers talking about it. And to be honest, I was never really great at niching down. I knew projects I didn't like. I knew projects that I wasn't particularly good at. For a while, e-commerce was in that category of project because when I first started, e-commerce was a mess. Like, you needed a big team and the ability to support people making money, and it was just something that I didn't want to have to deal with. Today, of course, that's a lot easier. But one of the reasons, so there are a couple of reasons why you might want to niche down. And eventually, I kind of found a niche in doing like small to medium sized businesses. I did a bunch of construction websites. But again, I never really found my stride in the right niche. I never really defined a good audience because I got a lot of work from word of mouth. And at that time, I was able to create websites for a wide range of people within a certain budget, right? And maybe that's the thing. If you want to do cheap, quick websites, there are lots of templates out there where you don't necessarily need to niche down. But here's why I think niching down is super important, and defining your audience, whether you do product or services, is incredibly important. So the first thing is that you will be able to charge more. And here's why. If you niche down to a specific field, you will be able to bring domain knowledge to that field. Let's take the example of a construction website. If you focus on making websites for construction companies, you know the sort of things that every construction company's website needs. They need a services page, they need a portfolio, they need a way for jobs they bid on to assess their work and things like that. You know the kind of copy that you want to put on the homepage to attract the type of customers that the construction companies are looking for, and the certain things that you need to showcase. If you are a generalist, you could probably make them a nice looking website, but you don't know the language that's used within the industry. So your website's never going to be as good as somebody who understands the industry in which they are working. Part of that is can be obtained from working closely with the client, but again, that's going to come with some extra budget, a longer discovery program or process, and you might not get it exactly right because this is stuff that you're just learning. But if you say, I'm going to focus on these types of websites, I like making these websites, I like working with people within this specific industry, you're going to be a lot better off, and you can charge more because of it. Because at that point, you're not just designing them a website, you're giving them a full-on marketing tool where you can talk to them about acquiring the right customers. You'll also get very good at this and develop a really good process for creating these types of websites. A really good example is my friend Sam Brody, who was just recently on my podcast, How I Built It. He talked about how he was making websites specifically for lawyers using a tool he created called JurisPage. And this made the process easy or easier. He understood exactly what his clients needed. He had the domain knowledge, and he had a productized service that he was eventually able to sell to a competitor. So he got acquired because he was able to niche down in that business. So I think that those are two really good arguments for niching down. You will be the expert in a specific field, and it'll become incredibly apparent to the people that you're talking to. So in the description for this video, I'm going to link to that How I Built It episode with Sam. I'm going to link to another episode with Chris Lemma talking about the same thing. And I'm going to leave you with this thought. I was never really good at niching down, so I always was kind of a generalist in the freelance space. When I moved into the product space, that was a lesson or a gap in my knowledge that became incredibly apparent because I tried to apply that same philosophy to selling my online courses, and it didn't work out. Whereas with creating a website, I was able to sit down and have a conversation, and I was enough of an expert in the field of website development for small businesses that I could talk to the client and show them that I knew the problems that they were having and I could alleviate those problems. When I created online courses, I just created a bunch of courses for stuff I knew how to do, but I couldn't sell a $50 course on blogging to somebody because I hadn't proven myself. I didn't develop that trust because I didn't define a clear audience. Was it people who wanted to just start a blog? Because there's a lot of free resources out there for that. Did I want people who wanted to monetize their blog? That's great, and I outlined how to do it, but I'm not making a ton of money off of my blog, so why should people trust me? In the 2 or 3 years since I launched that course, I guess it's about 3 years now since I've launched that course, I've learned that I need to focus up and I need to niche into the right market and talk to the right people. And I am finding that it's helping a lot. My email newsletter has gotten more signups. People are asking me questions for the field I want to be an expert in. And there's a lot of interest in the next course that I'm developing because I've established myself as an expert in that field. So if you are a freelancer who is thinking about niching down, I think it's incredibly important that you should do that. I'm going to link to one more thing in the description, and that's Sarah Dunn. She kind of talked about her niching down journey, finding the right niche, and how she's exploring that. And I'll say one more thing, that even if you do decide to niche down, it's not set in stone. So if you say, I'm going to make wedding websites, then great, make wedding websites. But if some job comes along that wants to hire you and you feel confident in your ability, you don't have to turn them away just because you say, I only do wedding websites. But niching down, I think, will help you get more work. It'll help you charge more, and it'll make you more efficient. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about niching down or freelancing in general, feel free to leave a question in the comment section below. Be sure to like this video by clicking the thumbs up and subscribing to this channel for more great content. And of course, until next time, get out there and build something.